y'all, and welcome to another episode of Blah Blah Blog. It's your girl Marsha, aka MM Dulce, author of, you already know, Baggage Claim, a life story, available on my website mmdulce.com. You can see the description down below. But I just wanted to start this video out by saying thank you. If you are new here, what's up? Like, let's get acquainted. Let's become friends. I'm not this aggravating. I am, but in a good way. But I just wanted to say thank you guys for showing my page and showing me so much support in such a difficult year. I just got back my final grades for my first semester of grad school. You guys know that I am in school to become a mental health therapist. Wish me all the luck. Oh, all the gods. I need Buddha, I need Jesus, I need all. What do Scientologists believe? I need everything, okay? So continue to send me, you know, good vibes and everything like that. But I did finish my first semester with a 4. That was my speaker. I did finish this semester with a 4.0, and I'm very, very proud of myself. Because it is my first 4.0 ever. But I wanted to do something a little bit different than I usually do on my channel and share with you guys one of my assignments. It was a mock therapy session. So I got partnered with one of my classmates, and this is one of our sessions, our final session, which your girl got an A on, BT dubs. Humble brag. But this session went so well. The thing is about mock therapy is that after a while it becomes a little bit hard to kind of like fake it. So it was crazy because we actually started to talk about things that my partner found to be really relatable, and she actually gave me feedback afterwards and was like, yo, I'm really gonna do that. So hopefully you guys find some value in this, or you're just interested to see how your girl would be as a little bootleg, little hoodlum therapist. That is me, your refined and ratchet therapist. I'm really, really looking forward to stepping more into the world of mental health therapy. So please enjoy this session. Definitely give me some feedback. If you yourself are a therapist, I would love to hear some of your critiques. Even if you're not a therapist or any kind of mental health professional, just let me know how you think I did. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's gonna mean a lot to me if you actually watch the entire video and comment and give me feedback. So I understand with the length of this video, if you do not have the time to do so, just bookmark it, come back to me. I'll be here forever because video is how I'm going to live on forever. Even when I'm gone, y'all gonna be able to play this back. Unless YouTube just like takes it all down, then there goes that plan. But regardless, enjoy this session where I am Marsha and my client is Brandy, okay? Out of respect for my classmate's privacy, although she did give me permission to share this, I'm gonna put a nice little GIF or emoji over her face or whatever. Anywho, I've said enough. Let's get into the session. Thank you guys so much. All right. Hey, how's it going, Brandy? You look good.
I'm good. Yeah.
I know it's been a really crazy year. And we just got through with Thanksgiving. So I would like to start off with hearing how your holiday went.
Yeah, it was interesting. As you know, I deal with social anxiety, so it was hard. It was tough, like preparing and like mentally preparing to go to Thanksgiving dinner, you know, with my family. And we're a pretty big family, so like it was that pressure, that unwanted pressure of going, and all the things that I was thinking about people were going to say about me, or like judge me, or like ridicule me, like belittle me. So I was like so anxious going, I mean, like palm sweating, just nervous, right?
Right.
And I get there and it's like, it's just so awkward and so weird. Like I'm so uncomfortable. Like I just don't really want to be there. Like I'm ready to go.
So
and it was just a lot.
Was this okay? So you said you went there. So this wasn't in your family home.
No, well, it wasn't in my immediate family home. No, like it's a big family, so like we all went to like our grandmother, grandfather's house and stuff like that. And like everybody came from all over. It's like my mom and my mom's family, so like me and my siblings and stuff. And then like aunts, uncles, nephew, nieces, because like it was big. It was a big shindig thing.
Right.
You
So
know, like
like
everybody.
I'm used to like smaller gatherings. So I always dreamt of having a bigger family, but I never thought about, the emotions that can come up, especially with all those different personalities. So you're definitely not you're not off kiltered, feeling overwhelmed when you have all those different personalities and all those complexes all at one table. And especially because it sounds like it was a big gathering. So you guys had one of those long tables, or like, did you guys?
Yeah, it was. I mean, like it's like the movie typically. Like you got the adult table, and then you got the little kids table, and then you got like young adults table. Like it's so many tables. Like so, yeah, it was definitely like really big. Like they have like this farm, so like this piece of land, like this house. Like it's enough space for everybody. It's not like we were sitting on top of each other, but it's still very overwhelming for me.
No,
At least, like I mean, I can only speak for myself, but like,
of course.
yeah, just being in that place, it was just like I was feeling like I don't know, like I was worried about being embarrassed, like being humiliated, like or like maybe even me offending someone or someone offending me. Like it was just so much that was going on in my mind, like psychologically, like and like I don't know, it was just like this fear of everything. Like you can't even pinpoint exactly where the fear stemmed from or like where it starts from or whatever. But I just know like I was just afraid of like I said, like what people are gonna say, what people are gonna think, all these different type of things. Like like I said, my palms were sweating, I was just anxious, like I was isolating myself too. Like I didn't really want to sit with everybody else. So, like that was even worse because then they would call on me on stuff or like call me out on stuff.
You
And
think
like
you're
I just be
protecting
like,
yourself by putting yourself in a safe space, but you're really calling more attention to yourself because they realize you're not, fraternizing and socializing with the rest of the family. So,
right,
you think you're
exactly.
doing a good thing, but it ends up kind of like being a detriment, or like, like I said, bringing more attention to you. So, it's interesting because you said that you felt like you were worried about how they were going to judge you. You were worried about getting humiliated, embarrassed. These are some big words to throw out there. So it prompts me to ask you, has that ever happened before? Have you ever felt embarrassed, humiliated at a Thanksgiving event before? What kind of prompted these feelings to arise?
I mean, yes, but not even just limited to Thanksgiving. Just like whenever maybe there's like a family gathering or like a big group gathering or like, maybe family reunions or Christmas or, just other holidays or just other celebrations or like when we come together for other accomplishments or achievements like
Right.
graduation, birthdays, like it can be a lot of things. So if with those things being frequent, like that means that's happening frequently to me, and it may not even be in like family. It can be other stuff too, like friends or like just social situations in general. So yeah, it's like, yeah, of course, like regular people, I guess you would say, like it's normal, to have like to feel nervous and like you're going on a day or like you giving a presentation, you got this feeling or like you got butterflies in your stomach, like those typical things. But like for me, it's like more extreme than that. Like, yeah, those things, but it's like kind of times 10 that. Like, so it's more like a social phobia. Like, everyday interactions gives me anxiety. Like every day interactions, gives me some sense of like fear, and it makes me like self-conscious, like judging myself a lot too, and like looking at myself like, okay, like should I wear this, like how do I look, like my hair,
Okay.
like what is she gonna say, what is she gonna think, like different stuff like that.
So let me
So
stop you there, because it's easy to talk about one situation and then think about all the times it happens. But I want to talk about specifically within your family. Can you
okay.
tell me about a time where you did feel humiliated or embarrassed by a family member?
Yes, all the time, but
Just one time.
oh yeah, no, but one situation that I guess comes up regularly is like my relationship life. So me being like single and not ever bring anybody, and yeah.
So they've made a case about you being single at your age.
Yes.
And Brandy, remind me again, how old are you again?
30.
30. Okay. There's a lot of pressure that comes with being in your 30s and being single, because people love to go ahead and throw that biological clock in there. They're expecting women particularly to be childbearing and whatnot. So I can definitely understand the pressure that comes with that. But you know, the irony of it is, people always question, why are you single? But people never question, why are you in that relationship? So it's interesting that people put a lot of pressure on people that are single, as if it's better to be in just any relationship than to be single. Have you ever thought about that?
No, actually, I have not. Like,
That's a good way to look
never
at it
really
when you
come
think
to
about
mind.
it. So, like, just looking at your family dynamics, do you have a lot of healthy relationships in your family? Like, the people that have made these comments, are they in healthy relationships?
Some yes, but some no. And then some aren't even in like relationships, but still kind of look down, like because they're maybe like dating or like
Mhm.
have other things going on. So like that's a reason that it's kind of makes sense why they are single, because they are successful and maybe they're doing this. So like that's their excuse and stuff. And it's like they kind of just look down on me like, okay, you're not doing anything. Why aren't you out? Why aren't you dating? Like, why don't you like clean yourself up? Like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Like, it's always like
Mhm.
pinpointing the negatives and never like really celebrating the positives at all.
I
So
was just gonna say that. So it's like you don't feel celebrated when you're around these people. It feels like you're more so judged, and it's like all the negative things, or not even negative things, all the things that just haven't blossomed into big things, they internalize as failures. So it's easy for you to feel judged around these people instead of celebrated. That warm feeling that you think you're supposed to feel around the holidays, around family, it just seems like that's missing, huh?
definitely missing, definitely a big hole there, big gap there, to say the least. Um,
I can
or lack of a better
relate.
word. So yeah, it's just feels pretty empty. Just feels like blah, like dry, like just something that I'm just doing at this point. Something I'm just participating in, just kind of going through the motions, kind
Exactly.
of getting there and getting out, just so I can show my face, and so no one has something to say about that. Like at least I came. You
Yes.
know, um, and then just try to go and just leave or whatever. Yeah.
Brandy, you are not alone in that, because, obviously I just had like a Thanksgiving gathering over at my great aunt's house. And it was absolutely terrible. Like, I am the type of person, I wear my emotions on my sleeves. And because I'm naturally such a bright, bubbly person, they noticed that I wasn't, really present and really bubbly, and they made it an issue. And while I tried to just be, courteous and whatever, they take the natural jabs too. It's like, oh, well, what's going on with you? Or like, well, when are you going to bring a date? And it's just like, people don't realize that just because you're at a certain age does not mean you have to be dating. There could be other things that we're working on. I think there is the invisible work of self-work that no one ever congratulates you on, because
Mm.
the fact that you are in therapy alone should be celebrated. But unfortunately, within our culture and within our generation, mental health has not received all its flowers yet. So while you have made tremendous effort and took a lot of big steps in making your personal life, the way you feel about yourself, improve, things that are congratulations worthy, these are not the things that family and sometimes even friends would comment on. This is the invisible work that you put in, things that you've been doing. This is the relationship with yourself that's more important than any relationship you could ever have romantically, that they're not celebrating. But you also cannot expect validation from people who do not value the same thing. Without value, you can't have the same validation. So I definitely want you to keep that in mind when you think about how, judgmental your family may be. You got to ask yourself, how aware are they of, important values? How much do they celebrate self-love and self-worth and a good positive mental health and peace over just being in a relationship, just to be in a relationship, and
Yeah.
there. And again, so it goes back to like the timelines that I feel people just kind of throw on people, like at 30. So why don't you tell me, according to like the way your family thinks, what are you supposed to have achieved or be achieving at this age? What should your life look like?
Well, I do want to touch on one thing that you said, because that really like got me thinking when you started talking about the values. Like, it made me really think that we don't have much shared values. Like,
Boom.
you know, like we value different things, and that definitely could be a reason as to why they focus so much on my love life more than everything else, because those aren't the things that I'm seeing in them. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, you have a love life, but like I'm seeing the other things, like the characteristics, like the personality, like the way you speak, your demeanor, your presence, like those are the things that I value, right? So like I think that's where a lot of that does stem from, is that we're not seeing eye to eye. And that's not to say that we should all the time, because we're not going to agree on everything. Like that's human nature, but it's just like we don't really see much eye to eye to anything, you know, like so I think that's where like a lot of that dysfunction in the family comes from.
Exactly.
You know,
How
but
can you judge yourself against that? How could you really so we have to ask ourselves, because I've definitely had to, you know, work on this in my own life. How can I, you know, hold myself or judge myself based on how you see me when we don't see eye to eye, when I value, you know, my mental health, getting myself together, and you're trying to rush into a relationship. Like, I love my mom to death. I love her. I love her. I love her. But she has not had a successful romantic relationship. So I'm not going to say that, you know, I feel like it would be rude to say, sorry, but you can't help me. But quite honestly, what can you offer me that you haven't given yourself? So I want you to think about that. When you think about the people in your family that are judging you for being single, for example, I think you'll notice a difference. And I guess you can tell me, do you see a difference between those that have healthy relationships and what they say to you, and what the ones that don't have healthy relationships or are either not in them and what they say to you? Like, is there a difference?
Actually, there is. Like, the people that are in healthy relationships, like when they talk to me, like they're more like suggestive and like giving advice and like, you know,
They're
not
patient.
really like pressing or like forcing. It's just kind of like, hey sis, like, do you need some help with this? Or like, you know, can I treat you to this? Like, maybe you should wear your hair like this or whatever. Like, and the other people are just more like condemning and like rude and like disrespectful and just, yeah, so I definitely makes sense. I think it's because it's all coming at me. I'm just kind of like just taking on the offense and just not seeing any helpfulness actually come out of it. It doesn't feel beneficial because it's all at once, right? Like this person, it sparks up, this person starts, and then it just kind of keeps going. And now I don't want to hear from anybody, right? And now I'm closed off, you know? So I think like it makes me even think, yeah, go ahead.
No, this is something we do often too. And it's not even our fault. So I don't fault you for this, because I find it's something that I have to be more aware of too. Why is it that negative comments hold more weight or come off even louder than the positive ones? It's so easy to have people in your family, right, that are telling you positive things, affirming things, that are not condemning you, like you said, that are not making you feel bad about being single or being where you are in your career or personal life. And yet one person comes out and they say something negative, and it almost washes away all the positive, beautiful things that other people in your family have said. Isn't it interesting how that happens?
Yeah, it's definitely like a domino effect. Like one person starts and it doesn't even matter what the other person say, but that person affects everybody else's voice. No matter what they're saying is coming out, like you're still just taking it as ridicule or, you know, whatever the case may be. And it's definitely an interesting and valid point. It makes me really sit back and wonder like how I may have offended them, you know, like they're really just trying to be helpful, you know, and
Are they?
I could
But are
definitely
they? Question that. You think they're trying to be helpful because they're in your family. So we naturally have this paradigm of family where it's like family love us, it's do or die with family. So you're thinking that even those that are coming at you with this condemning attitude are in a sense trying to be helpful. Like, I don't even know if you heard yourself say that, but you have to really ask yourself, where is it coming from? Because I think it's coming from two different places. When the people in positive relationships or just the people that like positively affirm you, give you advice, you can tell it's coming from a place of love. You can tell that they're being helpful. But you have to question where these condemning people that try to make you feel bad about yourself, first of all, they need your permission to make you feel bad. So I'm going to touch on that as well. But you have to ask, where is that coming from? And a lot of times, especially with older relatives, they're projecting. They're coming from a place in their past trying to judge you in your life after they've lived theirs. And so they're going in their space of unresolved feelings towards themselves. They're going to find a piece of themselves that they see in you and come at you for missed markers in their own life. A lot of it comes from projection. That's not a place of love, and that's not a place of helping. So I always want you to remember that. And back to my first point about your permission. How can you feel ridiculed if you don't believe it's true? So imagine this, for example, right?
That's good.
I put on this outfit that I was like, you know what? I really like this outfit. I didn't even like, and this really did happen back in elementary school for me. I put on a red long sleeve shirt with they had a little character on it that said diva, because I just thought that's what I was. And I had a purple skirt. I love that outfit. I went to school happy because I was a happy-go-lucky kind of child. And guess what? As soon as I got to school, I heard this term for the first time in my life, mismatch. And I was like, mismatch? What's that? Like, what do you mean? And because so many people who I gave value, and that's another important part. These people are people you're giving value to. You're making them important, even though you guys don't see eye to eye. Remember, values and validation, if they don't go hand in hand, don't seek validation from people. You should first seek, validation from within and really feel strong within yourself. And it's hard in a family paradigm to not want that validation, but it's very important to remember that values thing. But guess what? What gave me value was putting on my favorite top with my comfiest skirt. What gave my peers value was something meeting some fashionable standard that I don't even know what 9-year-olds know about fashion anyway. But because I gave these people power, I then accepted ridicule. I then felt terrible about what I initially felt good about. So I want you to remember that and ask yourself, do I really believe in what they're saying? And I guess I'll go ahead and flip that on you. Do you believe what they're saying? Is there a part of you that wrestles with that?
I think you brought up a lot of great valid points. Because I think it does kind of come from a sense of people pleasing as well, and just seeking things from those people because they have this one aspect of life, or giving them, like you said, like that permission.
Right.
And so, like, for instance, like with family and sometimes even with friends, like I'm noticing this, like as you were like describing it, and like I will seek validation from those people, even though they don't have it all together, right? Which none of us do, right? But they have major areas of their life that you could say need to be worked on, like I mentioned earlier, like the character or the gossip, or like different things like that I value, but because like, oh, they're successful and their career is going, and they're flaunting overlooked and posting on social media, like I have a sense of like, I want them to see me, and I don't want to be overlooked, because I've gotten overlooked a lot of my life, even from like childhood. So like now I'm like at this place of adulthood, I'm like, see me, like clap for me, like applaud for me, like don't I deserve accolade, don't I deserve acknowledgement? And like when those people don't give it to me, I think that's when I harbor that malice, or like that anger, or like just all those different types of feelings just coming at me at once, because I'm like, well, why don't you see me? Like, am I not good enough? And I think that's when it does kind of dive in some, and I'm just like, well, I guess I'm not good enough, or like if these people are not seeing me, then maybe I'm not those things, or if they're not complimenting me, then maybe I don't look that good like I thought I did. But like you said, like it's giving those people that power, like especially when it's circumstances or situations where those people didn't say anything, but so many other people did, right? Like, and it's like you don't see them, you're still waiting for that 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 people like to say something, or to like that picture, or to like that outfit, or to like send you a message, or to congratulate you. And like all these people did, but you still not seeing them. And it's like, why? Like, why don't you see them? Why don't you see them for who they are, and that they maybe just really don't care about you, or maybe, whatever the case may be. But like, why do you desire that? And I think about it internally so much, like, why do I seek that all the time? Like, from them and those people.
It's natural though, especially when these people are your family. So I don't want you to shame yourself. I hear you say a lot of things that are completely valid. You want to be loved, you want to be accepted, you want to be seen. As humans, I think that is all of our greatest desires, to be seen and to be free to be exactly who we are. And when you don't feel celebrated by these people, it's easy for you to either work harder to seek their validation or beat yourself up more because you don't meet their standard. But
I think the problem is like when it branches off, and it's like it's not just family, and it starts to affect like friendships and like maybe even work relationships, like, you know, occupation wise or career wise, like, and when it starts to bleed through those different areas, then I'm like really like
bleeds through how?
The root of this. Like I need to get to the bottom of it. You said what now?
Bleeds through how? You mean how you
like that's like like how I feel, and like
about
just
yourself,
literally taking it from the family aspect to like friendship or like just other relational opportunities like work and different stuff like that.
Even when they're not presenting the same kind of energy, when they're not giving you that energy, you just naturally carry it with you as if you're not good enough.
Yeah, that too. But I'm also in a sense of like maybe friendship situations where it's kind of similar and certain people don't see me or certain people do, or, you know, at the workplace where some people may congratulate me on certain things and some people don't. I may take it as offensive, but it may not even be that case, you know, because I just kind of have it planted in my mind, like, okay, because this is how my family was, or how these group of people are, then automatically that's how other people may think, when it could honestly be maybe they didn't see my accomplishment yet, or like maybe they didn't see this yet, or maybe they didn't see that yet. Maybe that's why they didn't say anything, or maybe they had another way of expressing their appreciation and gratitude for me. Like it could be different, you know, reasons as to why they maybe hadn't congratulated me yet, or, you know, praised me yet, or liked something yet, or complimented me yet. It could be
Brandy,
different things.
I'm gonna stop you there, because you know what you said a couple different times is the key word yet. You're waiting. You're still waiting. You're in a place of waiting for people who, I'm going to be very honest and very straightforward, who may never see you, congratulate you, or affirm you. And the thing is, I feel like life is what you make it. You hear that cliche all the time. And I like to think of life like a standing room with two headphones. On one side are all the people that have ever said beautiful, loving things about you. And if you put the headphones on, you'll hear all the beautiful things they say. But you have an option to go and tune into the other side, where it's the exact opposite, where people are judging you, where you don't feel good enough, where the things you've done aren't celebrated. And sometimes we make a choice to stay on that side, stay with those headphones on, and only hear negative things about ourselves. And guess who we have to blame for that? Ourselves. Because the choice is ours. Because like you said, there are people you're still waiting. They haven't affirmed you yet. They haven't celebrated you yet. Maybe they show it in a different way. It's like you're trying to find other ways in which maybe, okay, well, they're going to. And the truth of the matter is, you never needed their validation. You've always been perfectly fine just the way you are. It's just what you believed. You believe that certain people, you gave them a power to have a thought over you, when you have to assess, who are these people anyway? How good are they at heart? How much do you admire them for who they are? And are they people you want to be like? So tell me, so let's pick one person. Of all the people that you felt ever humiliated you, embarrassed you, name one person.
God, there's so many people to choose from.
One. First one that comes to your mind.
Does it have to be family or like friends?
Whomever.
I guess I'll say my mom.
Mom. Okay. Answer truthfully, and you know this is a confidential and safe space where there is absolutely no judgment. I just want to help you unpack this. Is mom someone, apart from being your mother, I want you to try and see her act as though you're me or anybody else, and you're seeing your mother for everything that she is, that you've seen as you, okay? Is your mother someone that you absolutely admire?
In certain aspects, I would like to say yeah.
What about the aspects where you don't?
Maybe like how she talks to me.
To you? Are you the only person you feel like she talks to a certain kind of way, or does she hold some kind of air about herself where she can be like that towards other people too?
I think she can be like that with other people. I think I'm just seeing it with me because I'm the oldest of her children. So
what other things about her?
That. I'm sorry.
What other things about her? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. You said what other things do I not like about her, or do I do like about her?
Not like.
Like she doesn't really listen.
That's important. That's important. We just talked about how we as people like to be seen, and a part of being seen, because we've been given the gift of speaking, is part of being heard. So this is someone that doesn't talk to people very kindly. And I'm saying people because you are people and it's not just you. And I don't ever want you to isolate yourself as though it's just you. You're a person. And at the end of the day, if you can't speak properly and correctly to one person, I'm just going to say people. Okay. So this is someone that doesn't listen and doesn't speak kindly to other people. So I don't know that this is the most admirable person. This is someone, would you say this is someone you would recommend for therapy?
Yes.
Without a doubt, right? And so it's interesting when we think about the people we care about so much. We look to so much for validation, for approval, and all of these things. Isn't it interesting how many negative things we can possibly think of where we look at their person and we're just like, why exactly am I seeking validation from you again? And you don't even take the time to actually hear me and see me for who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah, that's definitely a valid point because I think a lot of times in sometimes family and most definitely, but even other relationships that we can make excuses for people because we love them, because we care about them. We like to make excuses like, oh yeah, but she's my mom and she's been through this and she's been through that as well, and I understand why she can be like that. Maybe she wasn't raised like that, or maybe she was learning, or different obstacles and stuff that may come her way. Maybe she doesn't know any better. Maybe she doesn't did this and this that, and like you make up all these excuses, and it's like, how long can you make excuses for
a person? Like, exactly,
because after a while it gets old, it gets tiring,
and you're imprisoning yourself. You're waiting forever in that waiting room, forever listening to the wrong set of headphones, waiting to hear a positive message that person just does not offer you. And we have to realize, especially when it comes to older relatives, that some people are just entirely stuck in their ways. And I think the more you think about, people that fit the description of like your mom, people that are judgmental or making you feel a certain way about yourself, versus the people that you feel are suggestive, helpful, loving, and affirming, you have to ask yourself, why am I not choosing more of those people that are positive? What do I believe about myself? So I want you to think about that. And I would actually like for you to, I'm going to give you a little bit of homework. I would like for you to write a letter, and you can choose for the fake recipient, because you don't have to actually send this letter unless you feel like it'll actually help, unless you feel that your mother would be receptive. But truly, I want you to write this letter more so for yourself. And I'm going to call it the "But It's Okay" letter. And the reason for this is because I want you to address the way you feel, because like I said, you shared that there's a lot that is missing, a lot of affirmation, a lot of acknowledgement, a lot of celebration, a lot of things that are missing that you're waiting for. And I want you to ease yourself into a space where you're no longer waiting for these things. So I want you to write a letter titled "But It's Okay," where you honestly assess all the things that you felt like you should have gotten from people like your mother, if you're choosing your mother as the subject and recipient. All the things that you should have gotten, but you're realizing it's okay, because some people just are not capable of delivering. I want you to be mindful of the roles that different people have, and be mindful of this one truth. Now, the fact that, mothers carry the eggs, fathers carry the sperm, they come together, they make you, that makes them biological parents. What makes someone a mommy and a daddy, and those warm feelings that we ascribe to those two roles, is how that person treats you as a person. Not apart from the biological roles that people have, it's about that. So I want you to remind yourself that just because you're my mother doesn't mean you ever had what was necessary for me to feel like you were my mommy, but it's okay. So in this letter, you'll address all the things that you felt were missing between your mother-daughter relationship, for example, but you're gonna find a way to end the sentence with, but it's okay. And at the end, you can end it with, I forgive you, and I will no longer, imprison myself with this expectation that you may never fulfill, because you owe it to yourself to listen to the, the good side of all the beautiful things said to you. And you owe it to yourself to believe differently for yourself and for your life, and stop imprisoning yourself in those kind of expectations. Because once you hit it on the head when you said it's about people pleasing. Once you realize that that's what you've been doing, looking to the wrong people, the people that you don't even admire as people apart from the roles that they have as parents and as older this and successful this, when you look at them as just people, you realize these aren't people that I should be working so hard to please anyhow. And you yourself will start to wonder, how can you make yourself more pleasing to yourself? So that's what I kind of want you to do. And we'll definitely touch on that next session. But what do you think about that exercise? How are you feeling about that?
I think that's a wonderful exercise. I think I might actually do that. And even more so, I think I'm going to do it for every relationship I can think of. Like, when you were talking about it, I was thinking about, friendship and just literally all the people that I've let inside my head and like manipulate the thought of myself. And like, it's just crazy how much I've like let these people in and really like just change my perspective on who I am. And I need to get back to being secure in my identity and knowing who I am, like who I actually want to be and who I look up to and the person I want to become, like my vision, my purpose, my passion, get back to me. And it's not a selfish thing. And
not at all.
And I think it was just, like I'm definitely going to do that. And I don't think I will send it, but I think I'm definitely like, even talking about it, it's been a release. So like, I can't imagine like how to feel writing it out and like feeling like I'm giving it to that person. And even if I never do, right, it's the fact that I'm letting you go in a sense. Like, exactly. It doesn't even have to be physically, but I think more so for me is mentally. Like, I think it's easy to let people go physically. Like, you can delete them, you can never see them again, you can do all these things. But I think for me, it's been the emotional and mental bond that they still have attached to me. And so like, if I can write things like that and like truly let them go from the core and within, exactly. I think I'll be at a much better place. Because like you said, like, which I love, and you hit it on the head, is like that the unrealistic expectations that I was putting on them, it's like they'll never meet. And like you said, some people are incapable, but I think another major part of it is that some people simply don't want to. Like, some people very much know what they're doing and all these things, but they just don't want to. And that, like you said, like, that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with those people, because at the end of the day, some of those people and a lot of those people can be good people to other people because they want to, and so like, and that has nothing to do with me. That doesn't mean anything is wrong with me because they won't do it. It just may be that we're not meant to be in each other's lives, and that's okay. Like, I'm not gonna get along with everyone. Everyone's not gonna get along with me, and I'm not gonna like everyone. Everyone's not gonna like me. And we can love each other from a distance. That doesn't mean I need to harbor any malice or ill will or negative mindsets or intentions. But it's just the fact that I know that you're not going to meet those needs. Like, if I see you, hey, how are you? Like, what's up? Like, how you been? Like, whatever like that. If it's like small things that I see or whatever, I can congratulate you, but keep it pushing. I don't expect the same thing in return. And you shouldn't expect it from me either, unless you already probably haven't. But more so for me, I wouldn't expect it from you anymore, because I know that it's really coming from my heart. And I know that we don't have that relationship, and we never will. And if we do one day, then that's fine. But obviously you're not meant to be in my life during the
Uh-oh. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know how I did. Let me know if there was anything that you took away from this, what kind of value you got from this session. Are these techniques that I talked about, the but it's okay letter, is that something you would like to try? Just let me know what you think, because I got really excited, especially after getting feedback from my partner herself, and especially from my professor, that about how well I did. So show me some love in the comments. My other fellow mental health professionals out there, give me some feedback. Let me know how your experiences have been if you're in grad school. Let's just have a good conversation in the comments, guys. Unfortunately, the session did end prematurely due to internet connections on my part. My bad, but I still got an A, so whatever. Anyways, thank you guys so much, especially if you made it to the end of this video. I said I wouldn't do this. I just put on eyeliner on my bottom. Okay, thank you. From the bottom of my refined and ratchet heart, I say thank you. How do you guys deal with me? Thank you guys so much. That means so much to me because I really, really, really value putting this content out for you guys. So if you're not subscribed, why? Until next time, be refined, be ratchet, and be you. And know where you're seeking validation from.